Hi, this is Loftonworth. I'm actually doing a review of the Orbit b-hyve smart timer for irrigation systems for sprinklers. So I'm looking forward to giving you some of my experiences on this timer. If you're like me, sprinkler systems can be a bit of a pain. Last year, at the end of the summer, actually end of the season, the timer that came with my house about a year ago, bought the house new, but it bit the dust. I'm still actually pretty bitter at Hunter, who made that timer about it. Actually, it started with a water bill that was several $100s above normal. And by the second high bill, I found out it was watering at random, odd times of the day, regardless of the setup on the system. I even had a pro come out and look at it. And after he officially declared the unit dead, I started my hunt for a new brand of sprinkler timer. So I decided I would replace it with a smart system, one that didn't require me to be a pro to set it up, and I could manage it myself rather than having to call somebody out. After doing some research, I decided on the b-hyve from Orbit. This was based on the features, the price point, and based on the combination of those two, it was really just too good to pass up. But my experience with timers has not been good. This is the second house that I've had with a sprinkler system, and the timers has been a major source of frustration. Just the programming of the timers, the systems in general, it's just been tough. So in looking at the b-hyve, if it was able to do even half of what it claimed, and at this price point, I was going to be a very, very happy camper. And I have to say, it delivered fully, and then some. And I'll talk about those details a little bit more here in a second. And I also had a reference point. My neighbor actually just put in a different smart system that cost him a lot more by, $100+ and so I was interested to see how my system did, how the Orbit b-hyve did in comparison with his. I'm a technologist, so I like to compare, I like to see and make evaluations based on value and ease and that sort of thing. If you want to see my video on the installation, you can actually look it up on YouTube, or it's linked in the YouTube description for this video here. I have to say I was very pleasantly surprised by the Orbit b-hyve, both in terms of setup, programming, and as actually I'll add on a third here, and performance thus far. It's early in the season yet, but we're off to a great start, and it's been impressive. First off, I'll address the Wi-Fi. My neighbor's system didn't come with Wi-Fi, so it's something to keep an eye on. And he had to run data to the timer, so he had to run cable there. However, you don't actually have to have Wi-Fi in order to make the b-hyve work, apparently. It'll work regardless, but I have to say Wi-Fi makes the setup a lot easier, super easy. It also comes with an app to program and control the system. And the app comes on both Android and Apple OSs, Apple OS phones, iPhones. And I did find it a little hard to find the app in the crowded app store, Apple's app store. So I'll give you a hint here. Try searching for Orbit Smart. So just ORBIT space SMART, and it'll come up on the top of the results. I had to hunt a bit for it elsewhere. I just wanted to verify I had the right one, but it came up real quick with Orbit Smart. I'll skip a lot of the details about the installation. If you want to more detail, you can watch the other video. But I will say that it's very easy and intuitive. I'll hit a couple of the highlights here. But the instructions were full of helpful hints, such as taking a picture of your existing wiring before disconnecting it, so you know where to wire the new unit. That was really helpful. But again, you can see the other video for that. The cabinet was really solid, solidly constructed. The buttons were solid and easy. They felt good to turn. That's a surprise on a sprinkler timer, to be honest, particularly in this price point. And it comes with a key. I mean, keys are standard, right? Normal for these sorts of things, but it's not normal to have a name on it. And it's one of my major frustrations. I got about 100 keys in a junk drawer. I have no idea what they go to, and at least I'll know what this one goes to. So that was a big plus to me. And you know, everybody has their items, but that's a big one for me. Wiring the unit was easy. The face actually swings out really nicely and elegantly to expose the wiring. So the setup was uneventful and lacked that normal squeezing, prying, digging with a screwdriver that always makes me nervous around electronics. Made the installation a lot easier just to sort of pop it and swing the face out. The terminals were easy to access, and there were knockouts for multiple wiring connections. My unit has a conduit running up to the timer, so I used one of the knockouts. I used the medium knockout, and I will say it was a little tough to get out. So I used like an old fishing knife and did a couple of extra perforations around the knockout at key points. Again, it's a smart timer and with some delicate electronics, not a like a garbage disposal. So I wanted to be sure I didn't damage the unit. I didn't want to risk the old faithful screwdriver and hammer method. So I wanted to do something a little bit easier on the unit. And with that, it worked really, really great. The app is intuitive, and I'll say this: I am very picky when it comes to apps. Because that's part of what I do for a living, right? I help some of the largest companies in America with web and mobile user interface. And so I'm not an easy person to impress. But I will say I was impressed with the b-hyve UI, user interface, for those who aren't in that business, which is the controls that you use to set it up and to manage it. It was easy to set up, and it walks you through the major features in the setup, and gets full marks in that category for me. It is very tough to be full featured and yet simple to use and set up. And they found a great balance, and I think that's going to make a big difference for the b-hyve over other competitive units, at least the ones that I've seen so far. It comes with both a cord and a normal plug for outlet. It also has an easy method for connecting it to a hardwired system. So if your system comes directly out of the power from your, from the wall, if you will, not bad at all. It comes with the ability to use catch cups, which I thought was very cool. And in case you don't know, catch cups can save you a ton of money on water. And after my several $100s more than normal watering bill that one month, I'm going to need to save as much money as I can for the next 3 years to make up. Yeah, that timer, I'm a little bitter. Anyway, so that's a really cool feature to be able to use the catch cups to do the setup and make sure that you're getting an even full coverage without overwatering. And last but not least, I will say it's made in the USA. You get parts from wherever, but at least they're made, putting the thing together here in the US, and that's a big deal for me. So few items are these days that I think it's really important to call that out. All in all, I'd say it's a buy in my book. Just really good. I'm super happy with it and happy with its operation so far. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes. But just from looking at the setup, it's fantastic. I'll get into a couple of extra details here. Just key items that I thought were really cool. So number one, and I'm just flipping through it so I can look at it as I'm going through the process here. It allows you to label the zones, and I don't know about you, but every single time I go out to the system, let's say I put down seed and I wanted to water extra times on a specific area, I could never figure out, okay, was that zone 1? Was it zone 2? What was it? It allows you to put a picture and name the zone. So I can name one of my zones front yard. I can name the other one, front plants, because I have a drip system. And to take a picture and show the plants, so it's easy. I don't actually have to read the text. I can just look at the picture and hit it. That's super awesome. It comes with a calendar that lets you sort of go through and schedule when you're going to water, how you're going to water, if you want to use that. But again, it's got a smart timer that takes care of all of that for you. So I'm not sure I'm even going to bother with that. basically it takes information from the web, from your local geography, and all the data it collects on how much it's rained, when it's rained, that sort of stuff. And it funnels it back into the system and helps it adjust in terms of, oh, it's hot, oh, it's dry, what is your situation? Keeps you from watering too much and keeps you from watering too little. And I don't know about you, but I don't need another part-time job trying to figure out how much to water my lawn. So it's a major advantage for me. I'll also say that if you want to customize specific areas of the system, it allows you to do that without being complex in the UI. So that was absolutely great. It allows you to specify what type of plants you have. It lets you specify whether there's a grade, where your sprinkler set up. It lets you specify what type of sprinkler heads you're using, and what that means is you're just going to get the right amount of water at the right place, the right time. All that modification, I mean, it's fantastic, and I have to say it's the best looking thing I've seen so far. Super useful, and I'm just excited about it. So that's my short review. One thing I'll also add is something that I thought was super cool and after my big build, I'm very sensitive about this. It has a watering budget slider. So you can say, ooh, I want to tail back on this month, or I want to ease out and give it a little bit more water and less money for me, more water for my grass. And that's way cool. So all in all, just a lot of great features, easy to set up, and I recommend it.